This is the Just BeeCuzz Buzz. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024, and this is episode 40. I can't believe I've already done 40 videos, but that's exciting, plus a few more because I've done some tutorials. I'm so happy you're here with me today. I want to welcome new subscribers. I see that number is going up, and that's so exciting to see. And I thank you for joining me. I thank you that you have found me. And if you'd like to comment, I'd love to hear how you found me. If you want to pop that in the comments below and share my video too, that would be great. And if you're not a subscriber and you're a regular viewer, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. That really helps my channel. So welcome. It's a beautiful fall day here in South Central Kentucky. I live on the Lake Cumberland, in the Lake Cumberland area of Somerset. And it's just been beautiful on the lake, and the colors have been really pretty. We've had a lot of wind over the last day or so, so some of the leaves have already fallen, but it's just been pretty nonetheless. And blue skies today. Got out and voted today. We had some early voting in our area, so got out and did that. And then my daughter and I drove over to Nancy, Kentucky, and went to Haney's Apple Orchard and barn. And it was fun. We got an apple fritter and bought some apples and other goodies, and it was just a good day. But I knew I wanted to do this video today because I have some fun things to share with you. And so let's just get started. So an old FFO is usually how I like to start, so that you can see something that I've done in the past. Maybe for my new subscribers, you haven't seen this before if you haven't gone back to look at some of my other videos. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking at notes because it just helps me stay on track a little bit better. But the first thing I want to show you is one of my favorite pieces I've ever done, but it was also one of the most challenging pieces I've ever done. It's a blackbird design, and it's a table mat with wool tongues around the edge. It's a pattern that's no longer in print. I do have a copy of it. You were able to get it at one time from one of the distributors that had this pattern in a calendar, and it was November's calendar picture pattern. But at this point, to my knowledge, it hasn't been re-released. But I thought I'd show it to you anyway. So it's this, and it was probably my first time to stitch on black, and it was very challenging. I had a lot of times where I had to take out and start over, and the black was just a big challenge. So I wound up, the best time of day was if I had some time during the day to sit by a big window, and so that I could see the holes. I had dyed this fabric myself because I didn't have any black at the time, and I had plenty of other light colors and wasn't necessarily going to be using them for a project, so I decided to take some and dye it. And I just love how this turned out. Like I said, it's got these wool, what they call tongues, and the fall colors are just, I just love them. And it's all DMC, I'm pretty sure, called for in the pattern. And then the back is just, it's got a lot of lint on it right now, but it's just black on the back as well. So it's just one of my favorites. I'll give you a little bit closer look of it. Maybe it'll get re-released one day. That would be great, huh? There's a lot of people that would like to stitch it. And then the next thing I wanted to show you is one of my favorite finishes too. This is a hardened hand, and it's called Pocket Round Crow. And I found this little sunflower at Hobby Lobby and finished it on that. And it was fun to do that. I love putting the rickrack around it. I think that really helps it stand out, and it just turned out really cute. So it's one of my favorites. So again, that's hardened hand, Pocket Round Crow. And I believe I stitched this on it's an even weave, and it might be like a 25 to 28 count, something like that. All right. So those are my old FFOs. The new FFO I have is kind of a repeat. This is the second time I've stitched this. This is a Blackbird design, the candy cane stocking that is in one of the Christmas editions of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I showed it in my last video, and I stitched it again and had planned and had even started doing a tutorial to share with you all, and I made a big boo-boo. So I had stitched it all the way around and I was turning it, and I did something that Louise told me not to do, which was I put my turner, which is like it has a little hook on the end, and instead of hooking it in the seam with the quilting fabric, I accidentally hooked it in the seam with on the seam side of the stitching fabric, and I put a hole in it when I turned it right there. So I haven't repaired it yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. This one will be for me. The other one that I had that I showed you last time, I fully finished it, and I'll try to pop a picture in here. And I sent it to Holly of Hobbies of Holly, and she's gonna send it on to Jenny for her tree, the lady that we were collecting the ornaments for, who lost her home to a fire in Hurricane Helene. So anyway, I have one now. I think I am going to stitch it again and try not to have a mistake here, because I could use it for a gift exchange that I'm going to go to with my Saturday stitchers, or with, not Saturday stitchers, with my stitchers that I stitch with on Saturday, but it's the Lake Cumberland stitchers. So I may try making that again. If any of you are watching, I might make this one. I don't know. Anyway, it still needs the hanger, and I need to repair the toe and figure out if I want to put any kind of embellishment here. The other one had 3 buttons across here, but this one came up a little bit higher, so I may not put those 3 buttons. Maybe I would just put some trim across here. I don't know. So I'm still thinking about this one. Anyway, there's the back again. It was just like the other one. I love this fabric. It's so cute. Oh. So, yeah, there you go. Gotta fix that boo-boo. Okay, so let's get into FOs. So I was given this chart, and it's Luminous Fiber Arts by Misty Purcell, Gathering Acorns. And I stitched my piece on a piece of 46 count oat that you can purchase at Hobby Lobby. It's a Zweigart linen. And I used the color Persimmon, and this is a Classic Colorworks Belsoir. Get up close. And I will probably finish it as a little Dobo filler or pin pillow. I like the variegation. I thought it was pretty, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do the buttons. You can do it either way. You can put the buttons on it, or you can stitch the centers, which I did. So I'll have to decide if I have some buttons I want to use or not. But that was a fun one to do. Sometimes just having one thread to stitch with is really nice. It's just kind of fun. And you'll see that I've got a theme of that this particular video, because I've got several projects that I've done that with lately. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about are whips. And some of my whips are on a schedule. So this first one is like that. And this is a bag that my friend Louise made for me. So let's see. This is Miss Liberty. And we are stitching this to have it ready by next May, so to speak, so we could have it fully finished for the patriotic holidays. So the picture, it's in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and this is the summer 2024 issue. Let's see. And so this is what we're stitching. Louise is also stitching the other one that's a companion, like an Uncle Sam, but I'm only stitching Miss Liberty at this time. And like I said, we're doing a homework schedule up through October, and then we'll pick it up again in January. So this is my progress so far. So when we pick it up in January, we're going to start on her skirt. And I'm stitching mine on a piece of 36 count Vintage Country Mocha with the called for threads. Some of them I may have to do some substitution with what she suggested for the DMC, but and I think I did substitute my red. Let's see. For the reds, I did substitute the reds. Okay, so the darker red in the pattern, I'm using Merlot, and for the lighter red, I'm using the Classic Colorworks Hollyberry, and those are the Merlot is Weeks Dye Works. So here they are again, and you can see the difference. So in the 1776, the 17 is done in the Merlot, and then in the flower is done in the Hollyberry. And then my navy, I'm using Michael's Navy, and it calls for antique blue. And there you can see the Michael's Navy in the background of the stars and in the pot. So I'm having fun with this. Like I said, we'll pick it back up in January, and we have a homework schedule that is really through February. We'll have it done in plenty of time. We're going to do the blue part of the dress on in January, and then in February we'll do the red and white part of the dress, and we'll be done. So then we'll be able to FFO it. So we'll have it done plenty of time to be able to get it FFO'd, find the backing material or whatever we decide to do. So that's been fun to work on. I've enjoyed that. All right. The next one that I worked on is Antique Roosters. And, oops, sorry, bumped the camera. This is in a bag that I made. It is using Three Sisters fabrics from Mojo, but the front is using a free pattern by Mama Loves You GB Michelle. When she was first looking into patterns, she found this. It was incomplete, I guess you could say. So it had all of this part, the letters, but then this part was all blank except maybe one motif. I can't remember what motif was there. And she suggested that you pick motifs that you liked and make it your own. So that's what I did. And it was a one red thread for a while project. And then I made it into the bag. And so now this is what houses my one red thread a day. And that's what this is, the Antique Roosters. And Antique Roosters is by JBW Designs. And this pattern was loaned to me by Miss Kathy of Pete's Beeskeps and Carolina Cross Stitcher. Thank you, Kathy. And I am stitching it with the Cottage Garden Threads Canna Lily. And this is my progress. Let's see if I can move it over. I haven't ironed this particular one, but I have gone all the way over. So this is the end of the sampler, and I finished adding this little chicken and this motif. So very pretty colors. And then it's just the one Cottage Garden thread that you get all the variegation from. So, and right now I'm drawing a blank on this fabric. It might be Lakeside Navy Bean, 36 count, I'm not sure. I probably have it written down somewhere. The next WIP I worked on is Though He Seemeth Sleeping, and this is a sale that we're doing with as friends. So it's April Heirlooms and Celeste Creates and Kim, the stay-at-home quilter, Kathy with Carolina Cross Stitcher. I know there's others. Miss Luann, I think it's doing this, that watches. I was trying, Michelle with Mischievous Stitches had talked about doing it. I don't know if she ever started it. But anyway, I have my October homework done here. And again, this is a little bit wrinkled, isn't it? But I have my October homework and we'll get to start November. I did a little bit more than what the October homework called for. I had started this motif and just went on down. I think mainly because I had this color already in my needle and I just wanted to finish the color out. So I just went ahead and did that. And I believe my linen is a 37 count wild honey. And I just love doing this stitch. It has been so much fun to do. I didn't show you the chart. Let's show you the chart in case you're not familiar with it. It's Though He Seemeth Sleeping by Lucy Beam. And I am using the Gentle Arts colorway. Sorry for the crinkle. She has about 4, 5 different colorways you can choose from. So sorry. See if I can find the picture for you. So there's the antique. And so I've stitched through this bird and motif. And so our next homework assignment will bring us down a couple of more rows. All right. And like I said, I'm using the Gentle Arts colorway for this one. And it is a vibrant group of colors. The next one I worked on is On a Low Branch, and it is in this bag that I made a while back, trying to use up some old quilt blocks. And so this was one of my favorite designers, Kate Spain, and just bright, cheerful colors. And since it was a bird, On a Low Branch features a bird, I decided I would put the bird in here, and this is the back. On a Low Branch is by Mojo Stitches, and this is the pattern. Glare is bad, but if I try to take it out, it's going to be really crinkly. So there it is. I'm doing this with my friend Kim, Contented Needle Worker Kim, and I am doing mine on a piece of Luminous Fiber Arts linen. Now I'm drawing a blank of the name of it. It might be, I'm not sure. I'd hate to say what it is. And then, boy, it got wrinkled. Oh. The thread that I'm using is a Week Style Works called Kentucky Bluegrass. So there it is. Making sure I was showing you the right side. So I do have some shadowing in here today. I'm filming a little bit later in the day. It doesn't help that it got wrinkled. I had it on a roll and I took my roll out. I'll have to show you my roll in a minute, what I'm talking about. So that is On a Low Branch by Mojo Stitches using Week Style Works Kentucky Bluegrass. And then that was all the whips that I worked on. So I had 4 whips that I worked on. And then I had a new start. I've been wanting to start this for quite a few years, probably a couple of years at least. I said quite a few, and then I said a couple. That's a difference, isn't it? Anyway, I've had the pattern for probably 2 to 3 years, and I've been wanting to start it, and finally decided, okay, I'm going to start it. So it is Plum Street Buzz Off. I just think it's kind of funny. And of course, you know I like bees, and so it just kind of attracted me. But it's just kind of funny. It's really not a nice thing to say, but maybe when you're a crow and you're standing on the top of the hive, that might not be a nice thing. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny. I would never say that to somebody, though. I don't think. I'm not sure I'm going to put the words buzz off on the bottom. Maybe I will. Maybe it'll just be something that just kind of makes me laugh. But I just wouldn't say it to somebody. Anyway, I digress. I am using a combination of the called for and the DMC conversion. I have these wonderful fall colors that are just kind of all a hot mess on my shower ring. And my black, there's also black in there, of course, for the crow. And this piece is not wrinkled because I'm using my handy dandy roll. I'm calling it a handy roll. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, here is Buzz Off so far. I am enjoying this so much. It has been so much fun to stitch those stars, stitch that bunny face on that crow, stitch those tongues across the top here. Oh my goodness, it's just been so much fun. I have loved it. And this is the Tropical Stitches linen, Grazia, 36 count. And I'm loving that too. Her linen is so nice. So, the handy roll. I'm going to talk about it here in a minute again, but I stitch in hand. So, when I'm using the handy roll as I'm stitching, try to show it to you, like I would roll my fabric up like this and hold the roll and stitch. I use the sewing method when I can, but poke and stab too. I do both. So I can hold it like this. And what this does for me anyway, it gives me something more than just the fabric to hold, but it's really light. It's a little styrofoam tube that I put fabric around. And it just gives me some stability to hold something while I'm stitching, but it's not heavy, and I can move it around. So if I'm stitching from the side, I can roll it and hold it this way and stitch. If I'm stitching over here on the star, I can hold it. Just gives my hand something to hold. It looks kind of awkward now because I'm trying to show it to you, but anyway. Then when you're done, you just take your handy roll and you just roll your project up on it, and it keeps your project from getting just wrinkled and crushed in your bag, and it will fit down in your bag pretty easily. Okay, so then a planned new start. So let me show you that. So a group of us are starting Feast of Friendship, and I will be using Fox and Rabbit Eureka, I do believe. I may have to make some color substitutions, but Feast of Friendship is a Blackbird design book, pamphlet, and we are going to be doing it on a schedule. So I did a schedule for Feast of Friendship through next August. So the group of us that are doing it, and anyone can join. So if you want to join us, just jump on in. If you want me to send a PDF of this, I can send it to you through an email. And my email is in the information in the drop-down box. So send me an email. I'm happy to send it to you. We're starting it today, so really, you're not behind. And we're going to do the top border today, so, or this month. So just going across here and doing this top border. So, and then we've got assignments every month through next August. So, and then my fabric, like I said, is Fox and Rabbit, 36 count Eureka. And then these are the colors that I'm using. Some of them, I don't have all the colors here right now. Some of my other colors are in other projects right now. And I've got a note in my book that tells me where to find them when I get ready to stitch those. So, Feast of Friendship. So if you want to join us, we'd love to have you. That would be great. I've had several people reach out and want the schedule, and I'm happy to send it to you. It's a lot of fun to stitch with friends. And I have this in my pumpkin bag. So, it's a Lori Holt 12-inch block from Vintage Farm Girl. I did have my book of days, so I've filled in all my blocks. I have stitched every day. Some of it was model stitching for my shop, and then some of it was fun stitching that I just showed you. So today, November 1st, to turn the page, and I've got some pages, blocks to fill in. Okay, let's see where we are. So I have some fun mail. A sweet friend sent me this adorable little needle book. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And it is just so, so sweet. So this is a vintage handkerchief that was used to make the needle book. And then it's got a pocket here in the front, the little wool insert, and then a pocket here in the back. So just so sweet. Oh my goodness. And red is my favorite color. So perfect. Thank you so much. That's just a treasure. So share that with you. And then I received my Go Tell It on the Mountain. This is a chart that was designed by Annie, the Proper Stitcher, for, let's see, Cross Stitching Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I believe you can still call and order the pattern. It's $8, and all the proceeds go to a town close to Johnson City that was hit very hard by Hurricane Helene when it went through. So you can get Annie's pattern through them, and you can order either a hard copy or you can ask for a PDF. And then once you pay for the PDF, then Annie can send it to you. So that's how that one works. And then the other one was by Bonnie the Nubby Needle. And she did Appalachian Strong. And I ordered that one too. It's also $8, and all the proceeds go to the same cause, same shop, Cross Stitching Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I happened to order, I didn't have the blues. I don't have a lot of blue in my thread stash. And so Bonnie had used 2 Weeks Dye Works blues that I didn't have. She used Blue Heron and Blue Jeans. And I decided to go ahead and order those. And they came with the pattern too. So those are beautiful, beautiful blues. So I'm excited to have these. I want to stitch both of them, and maybe perhaps even gift this one to someone that went through the storm. I had a college roommate that went through it in Hendersonville, so wouldn't mind sharing that with her. So just thinking about them, thinking ahead. All right, I'm to my encouraging word. So last time I talked to you about a new book that I was excited about by Ruth Chou Simons, and it's called Now and Not Yet. And it is so good, such a great book. It was really hitting me where I am right now in my life. And I want to thank you so much for people that reached out and commented and said they were praying for me. I appreciate that so much, and that means so much to me. And some of you asked for prayers too. So anyway, thank you. And I'm praying for you. And this has just been where I am right now. It won't be for everybody and every season, but this is where I am right now. And so it also has a Bible study that goes with it. And I just started the Bible study, and another friend of mine and I are doing the Bible study together. And we're just kind of doing it on our own, but then we're just going to visit about it and just talk about what it's meant to us. And I've read through this book, and I've started this one, the Bible study. And I've watched the first video, and so the video access comes through getting the workbook. So if you're interested in watching the videos, you have to get the workbook to get access. But one of the quotes that she said the other day just really resonated with me. And so I thought I would read a quote and then share a Bible scripture that went along with the study this week, or one of the days this week. So the quote that I wrote down that I thought was very good, I'll share with you, and I'll have to read it. It says, and this is Ruth speaking, so this was her words. God is always faithful, even when the promise he makes doesn't appear to match up with the present circumstances. God is always faithful, even when the promise he makes doesn't appear to match up with the present circumstances. I just thought that was great. That was so good. Such a great reminder. And then Psalms 36, verse 5. Thy loving kindness, O Lord, extends to the heavens. Thy faithfulness reaches to the skies. I mean, the sky, you hear people say the sky's the limit. God has no limits. So let me encourage you with that. All right, I'm going to move to shop news now. If you're interested, I have a new release. I want to share that with you. I'm excited about it. It kind of goes along with some of the things I've been learning in my Bible study throughout the year. If you've been with me, you know that I've done the fruits of the Spirit for the first 9 months. I did each one. And one of them is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. Well, is there Thanksgiving in there? I don't know. Maybe there's not Thanksgiving. I was fixing to go down a road and saying that, well, no, but there is faithfulness. Anyway, I digress. The new release is something that has been I've been thinking about this particular antique sampler that I purchased at an at a estate sale a while back. And it was just snippets of borders. And so it was like a sampler of borders and a few little motifs scattered around. And I finally had this idea that I would start a series called Border Bits and use bits of those borders in my designs. So the first thing that I designed, and some of you may have already seen it, I have put it out on Instagram, and it is available in my Etsy shop as a PDF. And let's see if I can get this without moving my camera too much. So it's called Thankful for You. And I'm just thrilled to bring this to you. This is going to be the first in a series, like I said, called Border Bits. And this one is a little pocket pillow. So here it is. It's stitched on 36 count Weeks Dye Works denim. And I just love that color of the linen. I just think it's so pretty. And it's using a combination of Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts threads. I used a vintage lace trim to go around. I put full finishing instructions in the pattern so that you know exactly how I finished this piece. Including the bow and the button. These are Jersey Girl Stitch Co. pins that I've stuck in it. And then on the back, I used take this out for a second. I used an old jean pocket. So I brought some jeans. This is like basically how it started. I had cut some jeans up for another project and kept the pockets. And this is basically how the back started. So just so you could see that. So this is a piece of the same lace that's on the front, and I just hand stitched it so that I could still use the pocket. And then I stitched the buttons. These are just some vintage buttons out of my button boxes. And the idea is that maybe you would give this to the hostess that's having Thanksgiving at their home, and you would stick a note of thanks in the pocket and encourage other family members and friends to stick notes in there that they could look at throughout the year. And then maybe it would be passed on to the next person that hosts the next year. And new notes would be placed in the pocket for that host or hostess. Or maybe it would be something that you would do at your own Thanksgiving. If you host it every year, you could pass it around the table and each person could tell what they're thankful for or why they're thankful for you, or the family, or however you would want to do it, whatever your own tradition would be. I just love the idea of being able to stick notes in here that they could pull out through the year and be encouraged. So that's where that whole idea came from. And of course you can finish it as a pin pillow and not put the pocket on the back, but that's why I did the pocket on the back, was to put encouraging notes and to tell the person why you're thankful for them. So I'll share the colors with you. So I'm using Gentle Arts Copper. I just love this thread. It's so pretty. The green, I'm using an Endive by Gentle Arts. The brown, I used the walnut. For the leaves that are combination, kind of two colors, these darker ones, I used the terracotta and the cognac from Weeks. And then on the pumpkin outline, right here, I used cattail, and I used the darker part of the cattail. There's a light part and then there's a darker part. I used the dark part to do that detail on the pumpkin, and I say that in the pattern. And then I don't have the other color here with me. I didn't grab it, but the other color is a DMC 3866, and that is the white pumpkin. The red here is just a scrap of corduroy that I had in my stash, and it matched perfectly with these threads that I had chosen. So that's what that is. It's just a red corduroy, so it's a perfect kind of fall fabric to put on the pillow. This is a piece of seam binding, and again, I tell you in the pattern that is a material that I used and called for. And then the 3 antique or the vintage buttons. So I'm very excited about this. It's available in my, excuse me, I bumped my camera again. It's available in my Etsy shop as a PDF. If for some reason you don't want to purchase through the Etsy shop, you really would rather purchase through through me, email, PayPal, and getting a hard copy mailed to you, I'm happy to do that. It is going to be $1 more in the Etsy shop. It's $8 if I print it and have to mail it and everything. It'll be $1 more plus the postage. So just know that. I'm very excited about that though. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I have some project bags that I've made, and I'm going to be putting them in either the D-Stash page or my Etsy shop. I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to do, but I thought I would show them to you. This is a fig tree design panel. It does have 2022, so if that bothers you, you may not be interested, but it doesn't really bother me. And then this is the back. It does zip from the right instead of the left, so that might be interesting to you left-handed. And then it's got a gingham inside. And I am considering adding a handy roll to these for people to try. So if that's something you might be interested in trying, let me know in the comments. I'm considering just sticking one of these in there, putting a little note in there to see if people would give me some feedback on it. So there's that one. This is just the same panel, a little different. It'll be different at the top. Each of these squares is different at the top. It's got a different bow. This one does zip from the left, so this might be better for a right-handed. This has kind of a snowflake fabric on the inside, and then it has the same fabric on the back. And again, I would stick one of the handy rolls down in there. And then a third one, and this one zips from the right. So again, it has the snowflake fabric in there and the holly on the back. These have a fusible fleece in the front and the back. Then I have a mug mat that I have put on my destash page already, and if it's not already taken, this mug mat and the mug. So I can show you the mug mat. This is a Lori Holt pattern. And there's the back. And it's hand piece or machine piece, machine quilted. The bindings put on by machine and then tacked down by hand. This is a little pocket for a straw or a spoon. And then this is the cute mug I found at TJ Maxx. Is that not cute? That I thought was a perfect match for this. So that is on my destash page on Instagram. It's so_just_BeeCuzz and destash. So I've got that over there. I have one more bag and I'm not seeing it. It is my, I have a Mary Englebright bag that is also for sale. And right now I'm not spotting it. Anyway, let me see if I can find it real quick so I can at least show it to you. Okay, so this went pretty quick. All right, here it is. So this is old Mary Englebright fabric, but I thought maybe somebody might like it. It just has an inside. It's kind of scrappy. That's a little, it kind of looks like holly on the inside. And this is just a kind of, I'm not even sure what kind of fabric it is. It almost looks like it's quilted, but it's not. It does have the same fusible fleece, double-sided fusible fleece on both sides. So Mary Englebright. And I will stick one of the handy rolls in with this as well. The handy rolls will match the fabrics. Okay, so that's that part. And then one other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Last time I showed you this board that I was kind of working on, trying to figure out a way to coordinate your thread with keeping your needle threaded and not having to unthread the needle every time you needed to switch threads, that maybe you could have a way to keep track of it on a board. So I tried a different thing where I did a roll that's soft. So this is vinyl for these two, so it's got your thread would fit down in here, and these would fit Gentle Art, Classic Colorworks, and Week Style Works. And then your needle would stick here. So there's the little magnet. And then your thread would just hang down. This would be like a thread bed area here. Then on the back, I've attached a ribbon at the top so that when you get done, you can just kind of roll it up. This can roll So these can meet and kind of protect your threads, and then you can wrap your ribbon around and tie it. So let me know what you think of this idea and versus the board. So this would fit down, and by rolling it, you'd be able to fit it down in a bag pretty easily. It also would be nice to lay flat in front of you at a retreat. It's small mat. It wouldn't take up a lot of space. So it would be a good little retreat piece to take. And I just like the idea of having several needles threaded. If you're working on an area of a chart that has more than one color, you're not switching needles all the time or pulling thread out and having to rethread. You can just keep those needles threaded with the colors and pick them up as you need them. So let me know your thoughts and ideas. I would really, really appreciate it. Since this is my 40th video and I have a new release, I'm going to give a pattern away. And so the keyword will be pocket, P-O-C-K-E-T. And if you would like to be in the running for this, just use that word. Please don't use the word giveaway or freebie or anything like that. Be 18 or over, because I have to ask for your address. And if you'd like to have it, then put your name in for it. Otherwise, you could go over to my Etsy shop and purchase a PDF, or you can email me if you want a hard copy. And I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I haven't talked too fast, and you'll probably not know it, but I'll have to edit out the part where I showed my chart that I shouldn't have shown. Sometimes you just don't realize what you're doing until it's too late. So I'll have to do a little editing. But anyway, I thank you so much for joining me. I thank you for the support and the encouragement that I received on my last video. You all have been so kind. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. I have some tutorials I want to do. I know I say that a lot. I started the one with the stocking, and then I had the big mess up. So I may do that stocking again, but then I have another one I've really been wanting to do. And my tutorials from now to the end of the year would be like a Christmas theme. So I'm kind of, even though I'm still stitching fall, I'm itching to get some more stitching done for the Christmas season. And I have one project that would be an FFO, but it's a pretty epic FFO. It's a pretty big. So anyway, I'm rambling. So thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe. I would love to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be awesome. And that would be such an encouragement to me. I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you, and have a great weekend, and happy stitching, and take care, and I'll see you again soon.